After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 414. Today is Saturday, August 8th, 2020, as we are recording. I am Marlecia, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
I want to welcome you all to the fun in the Woman Cave. We want to welcome all new and returning viewers. If you are new, we hope that you find something you enjoy and that you will come back and continue to come back. And if you are returning, we're always glad to have you with us once again. Yay! And if you are in the shadows, new or returning, please consider hitting the little subscribe button on your right and the little bell so you get notifications so that people can find us and you can find us again because you'll get notifications.
Indeed.
And if you would like to take part in the alongs and the giveaways and coupons and all the fun stuff, please think about joining our home group. And that is phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's where everything happens. That's really a lot of fun because it's hard to do on YouTube and stuff.
I don't even know if there's a way to.
I don't think so. So yeah, so that's where you can find us for that kind of stuff. We'd love to have you with us.
Indeed.
And all you have to do is, I think you put in that you request to join us, and we just let you in. Mm-hmm. We just want to make sure you're not a robot or something, okay? And the information is down in the little description box. Ty always puts it down there, okay?
Well, it's actually automatic. I found a way to automate it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
One less thing to remember. Okay, now, we're going to move into our tea, I guess.
Yep, and you go first because no matter how you shake it, you have more projects than me.
I don't shake my projects.
Shake.
Now, I love my mug from Crystal, but Crystal, who's chronically crocheting, is a bunny, and I am not a bunny. I'm a turtle, so I can't use her mug until Tortoise versus Hare is over. Then you will see that again. But right now, I'm using, this is what my daughter's head looks like, and for those who are new, that's an oboe, and it's something I've called Talia forever.
Dad claims that you called him that first.
I'm sure I did. It's just something apparently I do, and I come upon that organically because my dad has all kinds of strange names for things, and my mom does too. So, as evidenced by Pesty Westy, so I come by it naturally. Anyway,
yeah, because Pesty Westy you can't even claim is a language thing.
No, it's just my parents like to play around with.
And the reason I say language thing is grandma's Colombian.
Yeah, she's from off the boat from Colombia when she was 15. So. Yeah, so this is my daughter's head is an oboe. And she does have a similar mug. She's not using it. That says, my head is an oboe, or this is what my head looks like.
This is what my head looks like.
And in this is my Plum Deluxe tea. I should have got caffeinated, but this is what looked good to me. Caffeinated. This is Plum Deluxe tea. This is banana bread dessert tea. Incredibly delicious. Celebrate life. Honeybush tea, cocoa nibs, cinnamon, apple pieces, calendula, bananas, chestnut essences, love, gratitude, no caffeine. Okay. And I love Andy, and I may have just bought some more tea today because he had some on sale. Plum Deluxe is Andy's company.
And they have a very bad habit of being like, oh, hey.
A very bad/good habit.
Of being like, oh, hey, so you unlocked this one tea for $5.
And then you buy that, and
they're like, hey, you unlocked this other tea for $5.
Wonderful, wonderful discounts that you get.
Oh, yeah, but it's just like, no.
It's like, oh, no.
Terrible for self-control.
Mm-hmm.
But
because they really are just that good.
Is my tea club tea. I actually haven't tried this yet because it's brand new to me.
It's open.
Well, I just used it
it's
today.
in there. Okay, yeah.
This is Plum Deluxe tea, Cran Raz Refresher Black Tea.
Sounds good.
Relax with the most refreshing iced tea. Well, I don't drink iced tea. black tea, Rubio's tea, cranberries, raspberries, hibiscus, orange peel, raspberry leaves, raspberry essence, love, and gratitude. Has caffeine.
Here's the girls in the countryside. The one we drink them to. Kingston Trio.
Oh, okay. I couldn't quite hear you.
I wasn't being very hot. They probably couldn't hear me even.
Yeah.
It sounds like it'll be good because the cranberries are kind of tart, and the, what was it, raspberries? They aren't so much.
I always thought raspberries were fairly tart.
They are more so than blackberries. Blackberries are not so much.
Oh, that's good.
And you don't want this because it's bananas.
You want to try this, though. You'll like this. You'll probably taste like the Germany tea. Because that's what you always say when something's strong flavored and fruity.
It's in her bunny.
Yes, it's in my all I want to do is
Laura,
hug all the bunnies
it's
mug.
an evil I have to do if I want to taste the good tea. Laura Concert is the
Turtle dictator?
turtle dictator. Turtle Nazi.
Trotzi?
Yes. Thank you.
No, mine.
No.
But it's like the German tea, right?
No, it's too sweet.
Mhm.
It might be the amount of sugar you put in, but that is excellent. That is excellent. Very good. I'm going to have to get some of that. Get me some of that? Not the mug, Laura, I promise. Okay.
Have to have it with the mug.
No. I want an owl mug.
Yeah, I'm not sure this one's available yet for general sale because a lot of times if you receive it in the
Well,
tea of the month,
it's probably like...
I might be able to get it through my Plum Deluxe lounge though for subscribers.
Yeah, when it gets to that point. Yeah. I just
It is good though.
I just picked up some tea, and you'll have to see what that is when I get it. Okay, so we're moving along.
Oh, I should
Now
have
we've done our teas. Our alongs, okay? For those of you who are new, we go through our alongs, and the first one that we do, I go verbatim almost off of my notes. And then with the other alongs, I just change basically what is different for that. And I might touch on something to make sure that the continuity remains the same. But okay, so the first along we want to touch on is our PHN Charity Cal which means crochet, knit, and loom knit along. Okay, and this is a year long. It's for all of 2020, so it ends on midnight going into January 1st. And for those of you, we've had some issues in the past with miscommunication. And I say issues, it wasn't issues. We've had some miscommunications about when we're going to close the threads. Just assume that it's going to be midnight Eastern Standard Time. It probably won't be. It'll probably be later. But if you want to get all your stuff in, make sure it's before midnight Eastern Standard Time. Okay? You might get a bonus where it's, like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning.
And if it's open, take advantage.
Yeah, take advantage of it if it's open. I just want to make sure that you all get your projects in. So assume midnight Eastern Standard because that's where we're at. Okay? We do have moderators overseas. We have moderators on the West Coast, I think, or close to the West Coast, Texas, and stuff like that.
But I think right now our currently most active moderator
in Texas
is on our time.
No, she's in Texas.
She's in Texas. Oh.
I believe she's in Texas. So, yeah. So just keep an eye.
And I'm not sure how that translates then.
That is 2 hours off of us, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, just try and keep, for all of our longs, try to make sure you get it in when it says midnight of a certain time. Try and get in midnight Eastern Standard Time.
Just so you get it in.
Just so you get it in. And then you might be pleasantly surprised with something else you're working at, and then you can put it in. You know, okay? All right, so anyway, moving on here. The charity along. Okay. Runs January 1st to December 31st. They must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted items except for the masks that everybody's been making for this COVID-19 thing. It's very important, and we want to make sure that the people who are making them, they don't desire or need any thanks or reward, but we want to make sure that we say thank you anyway, so they have the opportunity to win a prize for those masks.
Yeah.
Okay? So those will be accepted. Previous whips will be allowed, but must be worked on during the along. Chatter and pictures are all in the same thread. All charity projects will be accepted, but the finished objects of the sewn masks, the Hat Not Hate, baby items.
Is Hat Not Hate still going on?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe it is. Baby items. Oh, there was something else that was particular. I can't. Oh, Brittany's washcloths, dishcloths, Taya's designs, my one design, Laura Concert's design. That's Laura Concert Designs, Lady Ferna Co-Creations yarn, and Laura Concert yarn, which is Lollipop Girl yarns. If you use those in a finished object, featured pattern, featured object, by itself, that's 2 chances at a prize for the finished object only. If you use my yarn or Laura's yarn with any of those featured patterns, then those are 3 chances at a prize for the finished object, but you are responsible for your multiple posting. You can state why. For example, if I use my yarn and one of Laura's patterns, okay, I would post it 3 times for the finished object only. Everything else is 1 time, the whips. Okay, and I would say, this is because I've used Lady Funical Creations yarn, Laura Concert's pattern, and that's why I am, and it's a finished object, so I have 3 chances. What was I going to say? They must be going to charity, okay? So even if you make toys, I'm sure that some places are accepting. I think that one of our members, I'm not sure if it's Stephanie or if it's Jodadiah, who's doing a lot for Christmas Child. I think that also accepts toys, you know?
Yeah, if you're doing something, even if it's not going directly there because you're waiting for the Christmas season to come around, you're still making it for charity.
Well, yeah, and the charity lawn goes all year.
Yeah.
So Christmas time is before the end of the year. And Laura used to do Ronald McDonald House, and I know they accepted toys. So, you know, things like that. So,
I'm not sure how, what is it, the military one does.
Toys for Tots?
Toys for Tots. I'm not sure if they do.
I'm not sure.
I feel like they might not.
They might not, because I think they want everything to be packaged and everything. I don't know. That's something, if you want to do something through the military.
I think I looked into Toys for Tots, and I don't think they do.
Yeah, if you check through the military, they'll tell you what they accept. I know they do things for the soldiers. They do things for kids. So, you know, that's another option. What's it, CCAP that does that? I think it's CCAP.
I don't know. I know CCAP will accept things, but I'm not sure what they accept.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But you could check it out, because, you know, you guys, and we have like another 6 or 4 or 5, 6 months, whatever it is that we have. It's August right now. I guess we have 4 months, 5 months, something like that, until Christmas.
We have months.
We have months. So that's that. You can, like I said, 1 whip per project per week, but the finished object, the FO, can be posted whenever. So if you work on something on Tuesday and you finish it on Friday of the same week, you can post the whip on that day that you worked on it, Tuesday, and you can do the finished object when you finished it, even though it's in the same week. But the whips, 1 whip per project per week, okay? We have hashtag PHN Charity 2020 on Instagram for that, and we've got a lot of things in there, which is exciting to see, okay? And we do have prizes. The 3rd quarter prizes, we have a left set donated by Mama C. It's a yarn set, and it's all over there. I've been really bad about showing you guys the prizes, but you'll just be surprised, that's all. And 1 skein of Araucania yarn. I'm not going to go through that again because I can't pronounce it. And that was donated by Marriott. Both of these are really pretty. So we have 2 prizes going out for that quarter. So that's exciting.
It is.
All right. Now, the cardiac dysautonomia. Okay, that's for 3 months. That started July, right? January, February, March, April, May, June.
Yeah,
July.
July.
It goes, July 1st to September 30th. And the same rules basically apply, with the exception of there's no sewn objects because the masks are not involved with this, okay? It's hashtag PHNCDA 2020 on Instagram. And let's see here. You have to work on the project during the along. You can't just post something that you finished.
That's shocking.
It has to, yes. Now, this is the caveat for this one, or this is the thing that's different, okay? The projects have to be red, some shade of red, pink, some shade of pink, shades of blue, teal, turquoise, blue, greeny, that kind of color, more blue than green, and black or white to be eligible for prizes. And they can be combinations of this. They have to be predominantly with those colors, okay? You can use all of them. You can use one of them. Any combination, as long as you have predominantly those colors, okay? Anything else that's not, meaning that rule will be whooshed over to the show-off thread, okay? The reason we chose those colors, cardiac, we chose reds and pinks for cardiac awareness, and for dysautonomia, we chose the colors of the blues and teals, that kind of blue-greeny kind of color, and blues. And then the zebra colors, and we explained the zebra ad nauseum a couple times in a row, so I won't go into that except to say that means that is attached to dysautonomia, okay? The featured patterns and featured yarns are my yarns and Laura's yarns. That's Lady Funical Creation yarns, Lollipop Girl yarns, and the patterns, featured patterns, are my 1 pattern under Lady Funical Creations. That can be found on Love Crafts at the moment, Talia's yarns, Talia's patterns, which can be found on Etsy and on Lovecrafts.
You haven't put your pattern on Etsy yet?
Not yet. So that's, and she's under Franciscan Gypsy Designs for everything, right?
Mm-hmm. Although if you search, best way to find me on Etsy is you search Franciscan Gypsy.
Okay.
And then I'll come up.
Okay.
Because I think I figured out their algorithm, perhaps. You look at the address, and it's like I'm at Franciscan Gypsy. So that's how you search for me versus the name I have on the front of the shop.
The other way is if you do it as a shop. Don't do it as, where you put in, like, Lady Furnicle Creations, and it says in the shop or just whatever, like objects. Look for the shop, and you'll come up that way, too. Mm. So, okay, so that's that. And then, of course, Laura Concert, Lollipop Girl Yarns, and her designs are Laura Concert's designs. I think she has them on both Etsy and Lovecraft for the patterns, okay? Let's see.
And she's Ravelry as well.
She's on Ravelry, but I mean, to get her, I guess her patterns are on Ravelry as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah. Okay. We do have prizes, but I haven't pulled them out yet to show you. I still have to go through what people have given me.
I think we did that last week anyway.
No.
Did you?
I didn't. I don't have any prizes for this yet that I have. I have some for the Tortoise versus Hare, but I know we received some in the mail that will probably go toward the prizes, and I have some in a box upstairs because I didn't move all my yarns out. It's a little more difficult for me to get to because I moved it out of this space right here in the front room. So we'll see. We'll probably have 2 or 3 winners for that. Okay. The next one, I need a drink.
Surprise prize.
This tea sits well. It
settles well.
Yeah. Okay. Tortoise versus Hare. This is not our along. This is Laura Concert's along. We were asked very sweetly to co-host this.
Yeah, we've always been a co-host of it.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it started out for Talia's
For those
Tortoise and
going
Hare.
off camera, I can't go far enough, so
Yeah.
you're just going to see me.
Tortoise and Hare patterns with the original her Tortoise versus Hare toys. Okay, so this one, I don't know, maybe this is 4 or 5 years now, maybe more. That
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Okay, so it's Laura Concert.
It's not longer than 5, though, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Laura Concert, and we are co-hosting, and B-Wing, who is Brittany, is co-hosting. Now, Laura, you can find her on Ravelry, Facebook, Instagram, all over the place. Okay, and she has ways, if you're not on Ravelry, for you to participate. If you want to, you just have to contact her, and she's available everywhere. I mean, you'll find her. Just look for her, Crocheting Hoovian or Laura Concert, and you'll find her. Okay.
Take part if you wanna.
Yeah. Now, so obviously, as in all the alongs, you have to be a member of the group to which you are participating, and that's par for the course. And this one goes from July 1st to September 1st. It always runs concurrent with our cardiac dysautonomia. Okay. And the thing that's different here is that they must be related to Tortoise versus Hare, or tortoises and hares, or tortoise or hare, turtle or bunny related. Okay.
Preferably bunny related.
Anyway, I have a headache and I'm not going to deal with you. So the tortoise and the hare is how it has to work.
Did you want another sip of caffeine?
I don't have any caffeine.
I have caffeine.
Just let me get through this and I might do that. Thank you. Okay, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
That's okay. That was a nice thing to say. The
Tortoise versus Hare, it needs to be hares.
It can be toys, which was the original. Taya's turtles and bunnies and things like that. Now they are, the featured patterns are all Taya's turtle and bunny patterns. Laura Concert's Bertle. I don't know what other things she has that are Tortoise versus Hare related. And
just a quick note, because we had mentioned before, I've been for my toys. It's for any of my tortoise and hare patterns, including
I was going to get to that.
knitted
I was going to
and
get to that.
Okay.
And then you have, and I wasn't just saying toys. I was saying.
Well, I just wanted to clarify because we had Zephyr. That's how it started.
Yeah. So, all right. Taya's. I'm sorry, guys. Taya's tortoise and hare patterns. Okay. Laura's tortoise or hare patterns. My yarn or Laura's yarn that have tortoise versus hare references. Those are featured, you know, if you use a tortoise versus hare reference on my shawl, you can do that. I mean, if you can make it under tortoise versus hare, anything that's mine, Laura's, or Talia's, then that'll be acceptable. If you can have it relate to tortoise versus hare, turtles, bunnies versus and or hare. Okay, however you do it. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do those patterns. Any turtle or bunny patterns are fine as long as they're knit, loom knit, or crocheted. But if you want to get the extra points, and you know the point system, I already went through it. You know, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time thing, then you have to use a featured pattern and featured yarns, or one or the other. Okay, it's all in there on the group. Okay, let's see here. It's for us. We're using hashtag tortoise versus hare 2020. I'm not sure what Laura's using. I'd have to check. Let's see. Okay. And just for your information, for most of our longs, unless it's specifically Lady Fernicle Creations and or Franciscan Gypsy Designs type of thing, Laura's stuff is going to be a featured pattern, okay, or a featured pattern or yarn.
Because
okay?
we have a thread open that's not a technical along, that's just our stuff.
Right, right. But we did have, like, we had for the mystery along, we had just my yarn and your patterns, because that was a thank you, and occasionally we'll do something like that.
Yeah.
But generally for a general along, it will include Laura's yarn and patterns, because it's just what we do with her. Because she's Laura. Because she's Laura. Okay. All right, so that leads on to rough drafts, and I need a drink. Let me have let me just have a quick, just a little bit, not a lot, because I don't want to take your tea. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's really good, and it does have a kind of a note of that Germany tea.
I thought you'd say so.
Now, I think I have 9, so I guess I go first. How many do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so I go twice a couple times. All right, this is my September.
Because we decided that the whips for non-knitting stuff, non-knitting crochet stuff, non-yarn stuff go in a different section.
Right. Okay, this is my September and October The Baby Turtle project from the Biddy the Bashful Baby Turtle pattern by Talia Fernandez, over there, in my Mama C. Owl bag. And I should probably just say that I'm working on October right now. September is sitting there waiting for me to catch up with October. And I probably could have done more of this, but I didn't feel like it. I love this pattern. I've done multiple biddies. I was focusing on something else that didn't require so much attention. And I kept splitting the yarn for some reason.
Every once in a while it seems to happen.
Yeah. So this is the top shell. And for those of you who've been with us, you know this is September with the green on the bottom. October will have this one on the bottom, like this. And then this is what September has on the bottom. So we have a green and a gold to go with this lovely green and gold on this shell. And I'm looking forward to having these. So I'm hoping that I can focus on this and get them done. I have to do the heads for both of them. But this one has all the pieces except for the head. That's why I want to get October to that point, because I have the feet for this one done too. I just have to do the bottom and the little plug, and then I can work on the heads. So that's that. The yarn is Dragonfly Fibers Traveler in Sheaf, that's the shell. Marigold Gen DK in Fresh, that's the green. And then Mad Tosh DK in Liquid Gold. All right. Yes, I know I'm using Madeline Tosh for a toy, but we've always done that.
Well, Mad Tosh was used for the original design. That's where that comes from.
Yep. But I keep remembering Heidi. We were heathens. All right, my next one is my Ploverbird Mickey Mouse bag. Okay, and this is my Colorful Birds wrap from the Show Off Boomerang pattern by April Klitsch. Yes, I know I don't know still what I'm going to do with this, but it was something that I didn't have to think about, so I pulled it out. So I did about maybe 2 rows on this. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm not sure I want to do this anymore.
That's why I think you should stop working on it.
Well, it was something that I could do without thinking. So it's really pretty. It's working out really pretty. But I don't know. It is pretty. It looked really pretty with a black. So you can see against my sweater, it would look really pretty.
It's a shame that Davina doesn't do shawls because it's her colors.
Yeah. It's got a. I'm not sure what happened here. It looks like it pilled or a stitch broke or something.
Let me take a look. It looks like...
It looks like I split a stitch and then went
Yeah,
back.
your stitch split a little bit. It got pulled.
Yeah.
Because... Let me see if I can.
So this yarn is Test Designer Yarns Superwash Merino Worsted. And Taya gave it to me for Mother's Day 2 or 3 years ago. The last time I went to Maryland, she
I mean, it's still going to be a bit fuzzy, but I think I made it a little
Yeah.
less noticeable, maybe.
Yeah, that's okay. Thanks. So that's this, and it may or may you may see this in something else next week. You might not. You might not see it at all next week. This is a big skein of yarn. It's like 560 yards. It's like a Miss Babs. Okay. And I was hoping. I mean, this looked really pretty. It still looks pretty in the skein. But
It was one of those things that you liked it, but then when you realized after you worked on it, you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this.
yeah. It's just. So we'll see. Maybe I'll tear it out and make some toys with it. We'll see.
That'd be good for turtle shells.
That would be good with turtle shells.
And then you can make like an army with that. It'd be the
Turtle army.
Yeah, the turtle army. It'd be family.
Yeah.
But then you would want to keep them all because you would want to split up the kids.
Yeah. Split the kids. Your turn.
Okay, that should be really good for Tara.
Mm-hmm.
The colors are perfect for Tara. You would need like that, like an off-whitish sort of, like the undershell would be kind of like an off-whitish or something like that. You need that in.
I could use my antique for that, maybe. But
So
I
I think it'd be good.
I have a Tara on.
I can't believe I'm trying to suggest you do a turtle.
I have a Tara on the hook already.
Hera is Zeus's wife.
Yes, she is. She's a little bit temperamental.
Well, I mean, he kind of deserves it.
Yes, he does.
He's absolutely a jerk. Okay, just bring up my show notes.
It goes around the world.
Okay. So, in my... I don't remember when I worked on this. Must have been on Sunday.
Long time ago.
In my Star Knits R2 bag is Davina's Electric Turquoise hat, which is the Davina hat designed by me. And this is Miss Babs Tart in the colorway Electric Turquoise. So it's slowly but surely closing up.
That looks pretty. Nice color.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think of is I probably worked on it on Sunday because I didn't work on it during the week. I don't think.
And that's definitely her color.
Oh, it is. And I picked this up for a shawl that I wanted to do in brioche. It was a shawl I was going to do in this color and red.
Was that the one by, what's her name?
Yes.
Okay.
By
Ninja Chickens.
Mm-hmm. I was just starting, the fatigue and the brain fog was starting to get really bad at that point. And I just wasn't able to focus on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I tore it out, which is a shame because I really wanted that shawl.
It was gorgeous.
And I really wanted it in the colors I chose.
What was it called, the shawl? I know we tried to think about it last week and I couldn't think of it.
I can't remember. All I remember is it's by Ninja Chickens.
Ninja Chickens. Check it out. She's got some pretty patterns.
She does.
She's
But
very talented.
It's a huge,
ginormous.
brioche shawl, 2-color brioche shawl.
Absolutely beautiful. I think I have the pattern. 'Cause I think she gifted it to us.
I purchased mine.
Maybe I purchased it. I don't remember. Somehow we got it.
Yeah,
I just know it's beyond my skill at this
Because
moment.
I first saw it in the Bakery Bears patrons group.
Yes.
She posted
Yes.
about it. Hang on, my yarn is stuck.
That was a couple years ago.
And actually, you can go ahead and go because that was I don't go twice. You do.
Yeah, I'm looking for my
There we go.
bag. My owl's bag, because I don't have any owl's bag. Here we go. This is an Ambrody bag, Silver Shed USA. The artwork is Davina's, and you guys, well, patrons saw Davina. When did I guess, was Davina on the Patreon or was she on the podcast?
No, she was on the podcast.
She was on the podcast. Okay, so you know that this is Davina's bag. You saw Davina on the last podcast. This is Talia's shawl. This is Anastasia Satell's pattern, the scrap shawl. And I didn't do a whole lot on this because I was distracted by other things, but I did work on it a little bit, probably at the beginning of the week, last week. It's getting big.
It is.
It's getting big. Ow. Okay. Yeah, it's getting big. I don't have to do many rows to get inches on it.
Well, that's because it's crocheted.
Well, it's also because it's double crocheted in a it was a light worsted, but now they call it DK. So, and
It's
this
probably
is,
a bit of a heavy DK. That's my guess.
It could be. It's either a light worsted or a heavy DK. It's a really nice. I love this base, this yarn. The Yowza is probably my favorite base of Miss Babs.
Mm-hmm.
And the colors I'm doing, they're all Miss Babs except for the gold, which is Sunset by Malabrigo. I love Malabrigo yarn too, and it's just kind of a nice.
Yeah, whereas I like Matosh, you like Malabrigo.
Yeah,
I don't
like
have
Matosh
a problem with Malabrigo, but I prefer Matosh.
I like Matosh too, but it's a little pricey for me. Mm-hmm. And
it's one of those yarns that I kind of like. If I have Christmas money, I want to use it for that because
I do like their color saturation.
I like the sheen their yarn has. I'm not sure how they get that. It's got a kind of luminosity to it.
I'm kind of particular in what yarns I like. I mean, I'm really sad that Dragonfly Fibers has changed hands. I haven't bought. I say that without having tried the new ones yet. Okay.
And Matosh, I never buy their variegated. I've always only ever bought their single
solid.
color yarn.
I don't think I bought their variegated. I bought tonals.
You bought that one. I want to say it was a kind of variegated one. It was that one was more expensive than normal Matosh. It was
I bought Pashmina, but that's
why I thought
that's not variegated.
Oh, it's not. I thought it was variegated.
No,
I thought it had more than one color in it.
I'll have to check it because I'm using it for one of Joanna Johnson's patterns, and it's a Sherlock Holmes pattern, so it's not a variegated. I wouldn't use a variegated for a Sherlock Holmes pattern.
I didn't think that you had. I thought it was like a stained glass kind of look to it.
I may have bought a stained glass one, but it's not that one.
Okay, well, I don't know about the one you're using.
Yeah.
I thought you bought one that was stained glassy.
And I know I received something from them because I purchased something and they sent me the wrong skein.
I thought that was Malabrigo.
No, it was Matosh.
Was it Matosh?
I think it was Matosh.
Matosh does have good customer service.
They have good customer service. They not only sent me what I ordered, but they told me I could keep what I had.
The one who's like that is Yorkshire Spinners.
Yeah, they're like that too. I mean, I think that that kind of behooves you, but that's not taking away.
But with smaller companies can't afford to do that. Like when Dragonfly made a mistake, I did have to send back the one that they made a mistake on. They gave me the wrong weight in a kit.
Right.
But they're a smaller business than a Matosh,
and they probably didn't charge you the shipping.
I think they probably didn't. I can't
on the way back, not your shipping, but on the way back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't. I can't remember. It's too long ago.
I know that Dragonfly had really good customer service. They were very. We saw them several times. We went to different fiber festivals, and they're very nice. We actually helped set up their booth one year.
But what I'm saying is that they're smaller, so they can't afford. Because as a smaller business, you can't afford to take that kind of hit.
No.
But it is nice when the bigger ones do decide to take that step and are able to do that because. It does make you more inclined to say, hey, check them out. Because even though Yorkshire Spinners, at least the bird set tends to be a little bit rough on my hands, I will definitely recommend them. Because
I'll recommend them. I can't use their yarn because it's rough on my hands.
Well, I had to give away the one, I really loved it, the Bullfinch shawl. I gave it to Laura.
Yeah.
It was Bullfinch, and then it had a matching red, orange edging. It was gorgeous.
Their yarn colors are gorgeous,
and their bird set is beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's non-superwash, and I couldn't.
I think it is too, and I think that's why Kay prefers non-superwash.
Yeah, I couldn't. It was too much on my hands, and to me it was scratchy, but it's very pretty, and I think that if you can handle non-superwash, it's a great yarn to work with.
And my skin was just too sensitive to wear the shawl, but I loved the way it looked. I loved the way the colors were together. I knit Kay's sock knitters shawl out of that.
Right.
But the one they made a mistake on was I had ordered the owl colorway in a heavier weight to design York the owl, and they accidentally sent me a fingering weight. And when I let them know, they sent me the weight I had ordered and let me keep the fingering weight. So I still have some owl fingering weight.
And keep in mind that they're in Europe. And they did it anyway.
Yes.
Okay, so while we don't necessarily buy a lot of that because it bothers our skin because of whatever reason.
And for toy, it was perfect.
It was perfect. We would still use them for other things.
If I was to design a bird again, and they had the color of the bird I wanted, and I thought it would work, I would do it again.
Yeah, if I were making a toy or something, I'd go there absolutely
for design. I think that they're worth it.
They are wonderful, and that's
and we're not being supported by them.
No. We just want to make it clear that we're not trying to naysay them, that we're not trying to denigrate them. They are good.
They're very good.
I think that what a lot of people do, and now that we're at that point, so I can get back to where I was originally going with this, I think a lot of smaller people do what I tend to do if I make a mistake, and that is give a discount to the next order. And that way, they get something.
Because in a smaller place, so you just can't afford to do that.
Right.
To do a full, here, let me send you yarn and just keep what our mistake was. But a bigger place can do it, and I think it's excellent when they do.
I think it is, and that's to be applauded that
Very
they do
much
that,
so.
because they don't have to.
No, they don't.
That's really nice. Okay, now, my next one, I think this is the last time I do two, I think. This is my At the Bottom of the Hill scarf project, and this one I just am kind of winging it in my head. I saw a picture of something in a book that was in a store, secondhand store. It was packaged up and everything. I didn't even see how they were doing it. And I said, let me see if I can kind of replicate it. So this is the rough draft, if you will. I have an idea of what I want to do for the actual pattern.
Or as I've been saying, because of my sewing ones that I occasionally watch, the mock-up.
The mock-up, yeah. Oh, there goes my notes. Okay. So you guys have seen this several times. I really like this because this is another one that I just sit down and I just go. Okay? And I guess the sooner I finish this, the sooner I can try out my ideas for the other one. But, yeah, so this is it. And I'm hoping that it'll work out the way I envision it. We'll see. So that's that. And the yarn, this is James C. Brett. I like James C. Brett bulky or chunky or whatever it is.
It's chunky. I think it's more than bulky.
It's chunky, and it's a great big ball of, like, I don't know how much yardage. I mean, it's an obscene amount of yardage for a chunky weight yarn. Is it like 300 and some odd yards?
See, here is a James C. Brett. Actually, this little guy's James C. Brett as well. Here's
To see.
I made this guy, I think it was when I started, right before I started Northwestern. I was feeling really bad and I needed some cheering up with a happy bunny to cuddle. I actually don't cuddle him like I should. I should sleep with him.
Well, you sleep with the bear I made.
I do, and also I think I'm afraid of his eyes coming out.
Yeah,
But he's really a cuddleable. Look at that.
he's adorable.
He's really fits well, and I think if I was to make this toy in the future, I would not do the eyes like this.
And when
Because he is a good, solid toy.
James C. Brett.
I can't remember what pattern this was. I think this was free. And then this little guy, who ended up not so little because I did in James C. Brett.
Okay,
But he ended up littler than I wanted him to.
the James C. Brett yarn is 312 meters, 341 yards. That's chunky weight, and it was really reasonable. I want to say it was like $15 or $20 for it, and it was just extremely reasonable. And it was from a local yarn shop. Now, I inherited a lot of this from Talia.
Right, I
ran
still
out
have
mine.
some of it, but
But
I think I gave you certain colors.
well, I've got blues, a gray, and some browns.
Maybe I just gave you like one of a couple colors. You don't have this dark brown. Your light one you're working in came from his ears.
Right, but I have another one up there, and
Oh,
I
that
have.
blue came from him.
Yeah, I have two of that blue. I have two of blue green. I have one gray. Maybe there's one behind it. I don't know.
But I
So-
don't think I gave you the dark brown.
I don't know.
So I think
that's-
I was planning on making that into a teddy bear.
And James C. Brett is actually pretty soft for an acrylic. It really is. So I really like it, and it's got a subtle kind of striping. Well, this one anyway has.
it's more of a variation.
Well,
It's coming out in a striping because of what you're
yeah.
working.
It's kind of a gradation. I don't think it's meant to be a stripe. It's just that's the way it comes out.
Well, it's because of the number of stitches you have.
Yeah. So that's that.
All right, let me just finish my needle. Did you do two?
That was my second one.
Okay, let me just finish my needle.
Because apparently we've just decided to waffle a little bit. We didn't waffle. We just kind of...
No, we kept on topic.
Yeah.
And talking about waffling, it wasn't really waffling last time either, but thank you everybody who felt like they got a lot out of. I'm glad we
Yes.
were able to.
Out of the caregiver stuff.
Yeah. That helped you. So we're just really happy about that.
We got a few messages about that, so I'm glad that it was able to be helpful or make you think or whatever. That's nice. And it makes some people not feel like, they're the only ones
because
going through stuff.
feeling isolation is a huge deal. Is
It
a huge
is.
problem, both for people who are chronically ill and for caregivers.
And especially now during the pandemic when you can't do and get together as much as you might like.
Although this is something we used to talk about in Northwestern. I think I was talking to one of my online providers that I used to work with. The ones who used to do Zoom appointments. I think she was one of their practitioners. Anyway, she said that, you know, she something about running into a caregiver. Maybe it was actually Michelle. Anyway, running into a caregiver, and a caregiver said, yeah, there really needs to be a caregiver support group. And they're like, well, why don't you start one? She's like, when do I have time?
Yeah.
So even if you wanted to do a support group, a lot of times caregivers, that's a 24/7 job, and it's draining.
Well, that's why you have to have someone.
You have to have someone to
be able to take over for you.
But a lot of people don't
can't,
have
and you can't.
that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm blessed that I have my husband, and I'm also blessed that even though both the girls are disabled,
We're disabled in different ways.
Different ways, and they can watch out for each other. Now, Davina, I gotta be careful. She's out there. Davina is very smart. She's not retarded or anything, but she's developmentally
And we're not
delayed.
saying retarded as in the way of the insult that it is frequently.
No.
We're talking about the technical
term. Okay, she's not anything like that. She's not intellectually challenged.
Yeah,
okay?
that's probably the more.
That's not she's not intellectually challenged. She's developmentally delayed. Okay, and she's got Asperger's and all that.
It just
kind of
means
stuff.
that instead of being 35,
Five, she's 10.
Yeah.
Okay, in her overall. Okay, and that's what they've kind of said a lot about 10. Talia's got different kinds of issues, but Davina can't be left alone necessarily, even at that age. She's too flighty. But where I would not leave either one of them alone, for a short amount of times, I can leave the two together. Mike and I can leave the two
Because
together.
Davina can do the running downstairs
Right.
that I get too lightheaded to do, but I can be the adult in the house.
Right. And so and like I said before, Davina has absolutely blossomed since this has happened.
This has done a lot for her. And also helps that at the same time she got medicines tweaked.
She did, yeah, because she was having a really rough period just before Talia went into surgery. It was, just she was starting the new medicines just before he went into surgery because I am very reluctant to put her on meds, but I'm not the kind of person also who will say, okay, there's meds, I'm not taking it for her. If you can show me, if you can prove me that it's going to do something, then she can take it. But I will not just put them on medicine randomly. I mean, I don't have any say over Talia anymore, and she's got all of the conditions. But for Davina, and the person who works with me, Michelle, is a saint, because I'll sit there and I'm like, okay, I don't want it for that amount of time. We're going to do this first.
Once I started working with Michelle, I knew that she would be a good fit for you. And I kind of prepped her about you. Even though she wasn't actively taking any more new people, she I got in. I got her in. It was a lot of hard work on my part.
Yeah, because I was not going to go to Davina. I have a block, and I apologize in advance to anyone who's in the psychology field, but I have a block about psychologists and psychiatrists. And this thing with the psychology concentration, I love psychology and all that, I just have a block about them. So it was very hard to get me in.
We had some really strong discussions bordering on arguments.
Yeah. I wasn't convinced that it would be helpful to Davina. And Michelle is a godsend. She is perfect, in the fit and that kind of stuff. And she listens and she doesn't push things that I don't want to be pushed.
And Davina's doing a lot better. Davina even has noticed herself because she's like, oh yes, I feel so much better.
Yes. And so but the point was, that, and I used to say when I worked at Seton as a counselor, quasi-counselor, whatever it was I was doing over there, talking to parents, they would say, well, I don't want to put the kids on medicine. And my thing was, okay, if you had a kid with diabetes or something, you'd put them on medicine. If you need medicine for this, if you've tried everything else, there's nothing wrong with having
because for some reason, and I know this is off topic, but there does seem to be a block in a lot of people's mind when it comes to mental illness /
emotional
anything that's in the sphere of psychology, because they seem to not take it quite as seriously, which is,
I don't know if it's,
or not necessarily that, they think that almost like it's a weakness to take a medicine for it or something. It's really a weird.
I think it's more of a part of it, and I don't know how
part
much
of it's a stigma.
Yes.
But part of it also is, why can't you just get over this?
Right. A part of it is we can do it on our own. There's a lot of complex things that go into it.
I think it's a mixture of, why can't I just do this on my own if it's just in my head? And then, so it's like denial, getting down on yourself, and then the stigma I think the stigma is lessening a bit because there is more and more education out there. But I do think that stigma is still there.
And I know for me, there was always the fear that of addiction and that kind of stuff. I didn't want her to have more of that kind of problem. So, but Davina is, despite her OC tendencies,
I think she's more than tendencies.
She is very good about.
I have tendencies. She's OC.
She was very good about. I can't have that. I already had that. This is what I'm supposed to have. This is when I'm supposed to have it.
Well, I actually think her obsessive compulsiveness helps with that.
Yeah.
She will go in if you guys aren't up, and she will go into my room and make sure she has her meds.
Yeah. If Daddy's not up or I'm not up. Okay, so we need to move on.
But yeah, I just wanted to make sure, since we were talking about that, I wanted to address the stigma that and the issues that are with people getting the help that they need with mental illness, because I think that is an important topic. Because I did work for about I guess it was a year and a half.
Yeah, give or take.
Because I didn't make it a full 2 years.
Yeah, you had a lot of time at the end where you weren't working.
Yeah, but approximately a year and a half mental health, and it does definitely open your eyes. I mean, I saw a little bit in ICU, but most of what I saw in ICU were the suicide attempts, and the overdoses, whether accidental, and alcohol withdrawal.
I think the other thing that you want to be remembering, then we will actually move on to her next project, is that as caregivers, it's okay to kind of question what you are, question, but listen with an open mind.
Absolutely.
Because it is, you're in charge of the person that you're dealing with, quotes. You are interested in their welfare, and you have the questions. Make sure you get the answers you want, and not necessarily the answers you want to match your what you want to say. You might not get those.
Get answers that follow logically.
Right. That makes sense.
That match the symptoms that you're seeing.
Right. So I guess what I'm saying is that it's like when I pray sometimes, it's like, okay, God's going to answer the question or answer my request, not necessarily the way I want him to. So just be open for that. And I know you guys already know this, but sometimes as caregivers, we get so caught up in the fact of what we want, the best, and we think we know it's the best. And I know I'm guilty of this on occasion, that you don't want to listen necessarily because you're afraid or you don't, whatever.
And speaking from the end of both a patient and a medical professional, even though sometimes I still don't know, darn it, I'm still a medical professional, even if I can't work.
Yeah, you are.
So
you're a retired, sort of semi-retired medical professional.
But I always, if people would just really wanted to know and understand, I always encouraged family members, patients to ask questions and to fully understand and to pursue research. But while you're researching, keep in mind that there is a reason why your doctor went through a ton of school that Google's not going to replace. You medical professionals, we go through a ton of training.
Yeah, you're not going to find in 2 hours what they took 4 to 8 years to get.
But that being said, if you have something that's a little bit odd, sometimes you need to push a little bit. Well, have you thought of this?
Right.
What do you think of this? And if you don't feel like if you feel like you're just kind of being pushed off the side, it's not a bad thing to find a second opinion.
Right.
But, even if your doctor doesn't find out what's going on, it doesn't mean he's an idiot.
No.
It just means that maybe it wasn't the right doctor for you.
Right. He might not have experience.
Might not have that experience.
It might be a new thing. They go through, for the most part, 99% of medical professionals are very good. I mean, they might not be top notch.
I mean, I have ones that I wanted to kind of pop a little bit in the face, but usually it was personality difference.
Yeah.
Or they might have been young and residents and a little hesitant to act as quickly as I would have liked to in ICU.
And they in my experience, even in our little small hospital, the medical professionals I see genuinely wanted to help, even if they were jumping to the wrong conclusion
and
sometimes.
even if they don't have the experience to help you. So do your research, be your advocate, be your own advocate, be your family member's advocate, and also find healthcare professionals who listen.
Yeah.
But also, don't necessarily discount your healthcare professionals if you don't get the answer that you want.
Darn it, I am this, and you better agree with me.
Because one of the things that I had to tell myself was, okay, I think I have these diagnoses based on my research. But if they tell me I have something else and they have stuff to support that, then it doesn't matter what I want it to be. It's not it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a soapbox. We're going to move on to a project.
Yeah, your turn.
Yes. It's kind of related to awareness, right?
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it just hit there for whatever reason.
For
I don't
whatever
remember.
reason. Because it's your fault.
Okay.
I don't know why you got onto the topic, actually. Because it totally was you.
I don't know.
So, I'm in the middle of a needle for this. Let me go ahead and take these 3 stitches off.
Speaking of needles.
Oh, yeah. That actually...
Maybe you want to wait for that. That was, you passed the project already.
No, I haven't.
Oh, then wait for that project.
Wait for that project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talented individual that you are.
Yes, we will talk about that later. So, I'm hungry.
Hi, hungry.
Hi, hungry. Hungry, hungry hippo. And also, I'm actually picturing, it's a green, I think it's a green book. The Monsters, it's a kid book with the monsters on it. Maybe it's not green. They're like in a forest.
Yeah, where the wild things are.
Okay, for some reason that came to my head.
Okay.
I don't know why. Were they hungry?
I don't know. I never read it.
I don't think I did either.
I think that came about after you guys were small enough, maybe. Or maybe I just didn't read it to you. I don't know.
But anyway, we might have had a slightly different stuff that we read. Anyway, this is Grandma's Christmas stocking. It's the Lovebirds Christmas stocking by me. When I get to the point of the Afterthought Heel, I hope to do a tutorial video on my Patreon. On our Patreon, excuse me. But,
Very pretty.
yes, this is the opposite of Grandpa's.
That really pops.
Well, good, I'm glad.
Almost more than Grandpa's does.
Really?
Yeah. I have to see Grandpa's again.
Grandpa's has red where the
Yeah,
green is,
yeah.
and green where the red is in here. Now, maybe because I prefer red, I actually like Grandpa's better.
I was surprised that you picked that green.
I thought it was green Grandma would like.
Oh, she'll love it. But then Grandma would love it. It was,
Yeah, but
puce,
I just felt like it was... Now, I was a little concerned, but it's showing up a lot better than I thought it would. I was a little concerned this green wouldn't pop enough from the white. But it looked like... Okay, so as kids, we used to call her Grammy Apple. And this makes me think of
Granny
a
Smith.
Granny Apple.
Granny Smith apple.
Granny
yeah.
Smith apple. So I had to go with this color.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a
I understand.
emotional connection to this color. And this is Matte Tosh, I think. I think this is one of the colors that I picked up for my Christmas birthday. Yeah, this is Matte Tosh. Sea glass. So,
Yeah, I can picture that in sea glass. I used to love going on the beach and picking up sea glass.
I don't even know what I know with sea glass.
It's pieces of glass that have been...
I mean, it should be
It,
obvious.
it looks
but
like a pebble, only it's made out of glass.
It is
That's my understanding.
developed because of the sand and the water.
The sand and the water and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of pretty.
So it is your turn because, that's...
How many do you have left?
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so I can go one at a time because I have 5. All right. Okay, so my next one is my Pesty Westy blanket from the Migraine Baby Blanket. And I didn't do a whole lot. This is Talia's pattern. And I'm using... oh, you're right, Talia. It is Red Heart. And Red Heart with Love in Peacock. Well, this is the wrong bag. What did I say the bag was?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, I didn't. Silver Shed Green Star was at bag. This is Silver Shed.
AT-AT.
At.
AT-AT.
Here we go. I win.
I said it last.
Doesn't matter.
I win.
I always win. Okay, so here it is. I didn't do a whole lot on this, but I did a little bit, I think. I don't remember when.
Probably in the...
See? Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love that color. It's
It really
coming
is
up
pretty.
more blue than it actually is. There's a little touch of teal in it.
Well, you really liked teal. You really like teal.
Yeah. The more blue teal than green, but I do like the green teal as well. Isn't that pretty? I like this pattern a lot. And it is, you can see the pattern very easily. I was worried
it's a
that...
very simple pattern.
I was worried that would be too dark. It's showing up a little deeper than it actually is.
It's definitely a boy blanket.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, a girl can use it, but
I don't know. I kind of, if I had made this bigger, I would use it. It'd be my blanket.
I just wouldn't think of it normally as a baby girl blanket.
Right.
But that's just my mindset.
I thought I read somewhere that they gave, way back in like the Middle Ages.
Oh, blue used to be a girl's color.
No, that they gave the blue to the boys to protect the boys.
You see, I was under the impression, now, I haven't done a lot of research into it.
It's been a long time since I've read
heard
it.
that blue used to be a girl's color.
It might have been, but whatever color they used to use for boys was because it protected the boys.
Well, yeah, because inheritance was all caught up in the boys.
Never mind the girls,
Well, and that's really how they thought, because you could only inherit, except for some countries, you could only inherit if you were male, which is why it was such a big deal for like Henry VIII. Mm-hmm. Now, England moved a lot sooner into women inheriting than a lot of countries, but that's why it's such a big deal when you didn't have issue that was male.
Right.
Or that was why, not just misogyny, why they didn't want queens sleeping around versus the kings, where it was kind of expected. With queens,
double standard?
It was double standard, but part of it was because then there'd be confusion about, and there could be war because they couldn't figure out who the actual father was. Right. And someone could claim that, oh, I was actually, I should have a right to the throne, because they could claim relationship to the king even if they didn't have any, if there was any confusion about who the father was. So it could be a cause of civil war. So partially misogyny, but I think partially it was a desire to keep clear the line to the throne.
And we're not going to get on history things. So
yes, because once it gets me started on history, particularly medieval English history.
I should know better, but I don't. Because I like that period too, but I know when to stop.
I don't.
No, you don't.
I happily know not. Okay, so let me see what's next. I should choose something.
Choose wisely.
I need to see what I can
Reference.
show.
Choose wisely.
Okay, so I can't show. There's one more that I can physically show. Let me see if this is it. Not this one, other back. In my Fun in the Woman Cave bag by Silvershed USA. Oh, I didn't show the one my Christmas stocking was in. Yay. That was in my Silvershed USA Peanuts Christmas. And I know once I finish this, I am going to have to look to design my next Christmas stocking, because I can't have this empty. Mm-hmm. I'll have to sit and think of charts. Because it's my Christmas stocking bag. I have to have something going. Just like my Christmas ornament one does have an ornament in there, I just haven't been working on it. So anyway, this is my Sacrament Most Holy bookmark. There it is. It's barely started, which is why it's so small. I honestly just added the first color.
You're doing another gold?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I haven't wound up the silver yet, and I didn't feel like it. I was too lazy. It's one of those things like I might finish that particular skein, and then I'll wind up the silver. And this is another one that I'll probably have going most of the time. So, I have a couple projects that I repeat.
Okay, my next one is in my Chronically Crocheting llama bag, and that's Crystal from the Chronically Crocheting podcast. She gave this to me. She made this. I love it.
I makes this. It's, while she's pulling it out, it's a little reference. I'm trying to remember who does the comic. They do basically comics where your characters are like different organs in the body. So you have the heart, you have the brain, the liver. It sounds really creepy, but it's actually really funny. And one of them was Gallbladder. And Gallbladder goes walking up to the liver with his little arms full. And liver's like, what?
You have to understand, it's a baby gallbladder.
Right. And the liver's like, what is it, Gallbladder? Can't you see I'm busy? I makes these. And the liver's like, oh my gosh, you're just supposed to hold what I give you.
Make stones?
Not make stones. Get out of here. I'm busy. And he wanders off, and you see him by himself in the panel, and he looks like he's about to cry. He's like, I makes these.
Yeah, it's so cute. Just adorable.
You actually feel sorry for a gallbladder making stones,
which is a bad thing.
But the people who do that comic also have create a toy, a stuffed animal with a little gallbladder with his stones.
Oh, I should get one of those for Grandma.
It's so adorable.
Okay, this is my current dishcloth, and this one's in Dishy, and I couldn't find a color, so I'm just calling it navy. And I'm about maybe halfway through, and I'm enjoying working with this it doesn't split as much as the
Yeah, unfortunately, she likes the Dishy, guys.
I wouldn't wear it, but for dishcloths, this might be my go-to.
It works very nicely for dishcloths. And I know you have a colorway on there because it does have it on here. Hold
No,
on.
I know that, but I don't see a color on it.
Hold on. I'll tell you what it is. It's usually in the front. No, it isn't. I know where it is, but it's blue. It's just called blue.
Oh, it's just called blue. Okay.
So.
So I called it navy because it's darker, but that's okay. It's blue. And it's not particularly soft, but I can tell it's going to be long wearing.
Well,
And
you can tell that with my bunny one that I made.
yeah. So this is, I'm enjoying working with. It's not as rough on my hands as I thought. The one that was really tough on my hands, I think, was peaches and cream or
Right.
something like that. I refuse to use that stuff that I can buy at Walmart or Hobby Lobby or whatever. I will use, I have 2 yarns that I will use that are cotton. I'll use Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton. I know I just said Hobby Lobby, but they have a different one that's not so soft. I'll use Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton for things that are going to be more drapey, maybe a summer top or something. But for toys and for dishcloths, I think I'll probably use exclusively Dishy.
You see, I don't care for I love this cotton, but I do love Dishy. And that's from someone who doesn't like cotton.
Well, I don't like cotton much either. So I don't. We had some beautiful cotton from Flock Brazonas, and we had to give it away because we weren't using it.
Yeah, for some reason, it just felt weird on my hands.
It was a cotton linen blend, I think.
Well, the thing is,
bamboo.
I have a I think it was bamboo.
Yeah.
I have a cotton linen blend that Knit Picks does called Cotton, and I
Cotton,
like that
yeah.
as well.
Yeah. So I haven't tried that yet.
I think I just like Knit Picks cotton.
Well, I think Knit Picks does a good job with their cotton. So
And it's not anything against Flock Brazonas. I'm just really picky with my cotton.
oh, we love Flock Brazonas. We always go over there when he's he sits in the booth and his wife does the dyeing.
Yeah, and they're really sweet.
They are. I wish they had an online presence because we're not going to be able to see them since we're not going to be going to fiber festivals anymore.
Well, all I can think about is everyone who was in his booth, because I was in the wheelchair, it was really hard to get
his
through.
is tight.
But everyone was so helpful
Oh,
for
yeah.
helping me
Yeah.
get around in there, and so sweet.
They're very nice. I mean, I didn't buy any yarn that last time. I bought 2 patterns. No, I did buy some yarn.
Yeah, I think you did.
I did buy
I
some
bought a
yarn.
little bit of something. I can't
Yeah.
remember. Or maybe I didn't. I was on a very limited budget,
You
so I
were.
don't think I did.
Yeah, you might not have been able to.
I think I just
yeah.
looked at the stuff and
Yeah.
said, yeah, I can't afford anything right now. I mostly was there because I was giving you a chance to buy something.
Yeah, because we always like to stop by and see him. We were going to stop by and see him anyway.
Oh, yeah, because we've stopped by
every
since
year.
we
Ever since we
discovered
found
him.
him. Yeah, he's. Did he go to Maryland too? I forget.
No, I've only ever seen him.
I've only seen him at Shenandoah.
Shenandoah.
Yeah. So. Okay, so you're next.
Yes. So my next one, well, from now on, it's going to be things just in bags that I can't show you because they're designs. So in my Fun in the Woman Cave phrases bag, this is the one that's in my color, the orange.
Princess and Gypsy.
Yes. This is a pattern that the patrons will get for free, but everyone else will still be able to get an opportunity to buy it. And it's a bookmark. I can give that much away. So
Okay.
I'm almost done, so that will be cool.
How many do you have left?
Dos.
1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. So in my M&M's bag, I can't show you this. It's Talia's test blanket that's in testing. So yeah, I can't.
It's not in testing.
This one is.
It's no, I don't have any blanket in testing. It's
Oh,
it's in designing.
It's in designing. Sorry.
I only have one. I actually strangely only have one pattern that's in testing right now. It's really weird because I had like 4.
I've got 3 different colors in it, and that's all I can say about that.
So, in my, I think this is my Maryland sheep wool bag. Hold on.
And this one are the same pattern, so she can go into her story.
Yes. So, yes, this is the baby blanket that I'm designing because a friend commissioned me for a baby blanket. I am not doing a big commission again like this, probably for a long time. She gave me a decent amount of time.
Oh, yeah, she did.
It's just that when you have to knit a lot in order to get done in time on one project, it gets to the point where you're just like, I want to knit what I want to knit.
You might want to have like a pink and a blue that you put in the shop, and then if somebody wants it, they can look at it and say, you can have that one.
What I'll probably do is, as I knit them, my more special ones will go up in the shop, or whatever.
Well, I figure that there are 3 or 4 colors, like yellow, green, pink, blue, and maybe purple. Lavender.
There's a lavender I really like that I want to do at some point.
Those are the colors I always think of for babies: pink, blue, lavender, yellow.
There's a
and green.
pastel pink that I don't have yet.
Yeah. You don't have?
I have pink, which is actually story about that they don't do that exact color anymore. They now have pastel pink and bubblegum pink, but they don't have just pink. I searched everywhere and I found 2 skeins on Etsy and snagged them because I can't get them for anything else, and I have it in a project.
Yeah.
So I snagged the last 2 skeins because it seems like they discontinue it. Lion Brand doesn't have it. Walmart.
And it comes from Lion Brand.
Yeah, and every other place I looked, out of stock. Except for these 2 skeins on Etsy.
I had to do that when I was making a blanket for your grandparents. That one that I had 6 strands held together. I had to go all over the place looking for colors that had been discontinued.
Because the turquoise isn't as much of a problem because I know I can get that one again. So when I eventually do need to put that in there, I'll pick it up. But I needed to get the pink now while I saw it because I won't be able to get it again. But yeah, story. So this is knit with a US 7. We'll just go on to say that. Anyone who follows me on Instagram probably saw this on Facebook.
And those who have seen the Patreon.
Yes. So I reached over, when I set my knitting aside, reached over to grab something from the side of my bed, some applesauce to take pills. And when I came back down, I think I lost my balance a little bit, as you sometimes do when you reach for something you just didn't steady yourself well enough.
Or you just lost your balance.
Yeah. So I came down harder than expected, and then I tried to pull my knitting out to go back to work on it because it landed underneath of me, and I couldn't get it out. And I was like, and then I had this fear, oh no, I bent my needle. And then I realized, oh no, where is the end of the needle? I had managed to, by the way, without feeling anything, managed to embed the needle into my right buttock. About
closer to your hip than the buttock.
Yeah, it's like side hip area. Yeah. And pretty well embedded too. So threw the yarn into a bag, picked up the project because I didn't want it to pull, because I wasn't sure how much bleeding there would be, and I didn't want to bleed on the bed, which we had just made. Didn't want to bleed on the project, which currently didn't have any blood on it. Just wanted to,
which would have thrown you way back to have to redo it.
Yeah, because I'm almost halfway through it.
Yeah.
So gathered everything together, and with my nursing background, I know how to control bleeding. Had a phone with me in case it got out of control. Was able to pull it out. Needles undamaged, yarn undamaged, project undamaged. Little bit of bleeding on my part. Honestly, it only hurts a little bit, a very little bit, if I lean on it or land on it, sit on it wrong. But for the most part, it never has hurt as much as you would think it would to have a US 7.
Yeah.
Because US 7s are pretty thick.
I've repeatedly told her she needs to keep an eye on it for infection because, yes, she's the nurse, but I'm the one who worries about her health because she's kind of pig-headed about that kind of stuff.
And it also crossed my mind, for one thing, I don't want to go to the ER anyway. That's an expense. Right. For another thing, I know a lot of the ER staff.
Yeah. Well, that's pride.
No, it is.
And if you had to go, you were going to go.
Oh, yes, but I also, if I could manage it at home, I was going to. Yeah, not to mention that's an expense.
Yeah. It's,
And I did the exact thing they would have done. Remove the needle.
She showed me the bandage when she took it off, and it was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of bleeding.
I'm more concerned with infection, and so I keep
Honestly, I would have been more worried if it was a wood needle because that has more risk for splintering, and that could have left something in the wound. With a Chowgu metal needle, it's fine. It came in, it came out, it didn't bend, so there was no extra damage. It was more funny, honestly, than anything else. It's just like, oh my gosh, I have literally a knitting injury. Okay.
So she's talented that way.
Yes, I felt incredibly talented.
And I think she's okay. By now, you would have had any signs of infection.
Oh, yeah. I'm most definitely fine.
But I told her, I said, please make sure you put something on top of your needles, covering your needles. Even if you put it down for a second, if you're going to do something else, put something on your needles or put the needles in the bag so that you don't do that again.
And I'll probably remember at least for the next couple months before I forget again.
No, don't forget again.
I'll
put the
try
stuff
very
on the
hard.
needles, okay? Mm-hmm. Because I don't want to go to the emergency room.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Okay, the next thing, was that your turn?
That was my turn.
Okay.
Because that was a project that...
Okay, my last one is my... I didn't show this one, did I?
I don't know which one that is.
Did I not do this one?
Which one, Mom?
Oh, I guess I didn't work on this one. I pulled it out.
Okay.
Well, let me see. How many do you have left?
1.
I know I worked on this, but I didn't...
You didn't put it down?
All right, you're going to see this, okay? This is my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle blanket, and I only worked a little bit on it. I know I worked on this, but I didn't put it down for some reason. This is my Universal Studios bag. And so I'm getting close to finishing this green rose so I can add the purple for Donatello. So you can see Leo and Raph there, the blue and the red. So I've got a few more to do. I want to thank Crystal for saying that she liked the Ninja Turtle stuff. That's cool. Thank you very much.
She might have been talking about that, but she also might have been talking about I had led with a Ninja Turtle toy.
She said turtle. She said turtle. She said Ninja Turtle.
I know. There was a Ninja Turtle toy at the beginning of the slideshow at the beginning as well.
What Ninja Turtles?
Allison made a Ninja Turtle. She made Leo.
Oh, did she?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
It was one of the pictures in the...
well, then I thank her for Allison.
Because it could either have been that or the actual toy turtle.
Well, she said it was adorable, so I'm assuming it was the turtle. I thought maybe she was talking about one of the turtles that we pulled up.
No, there was an actual Ninja Turtle.
Okay, I didn't see that.
I put in the slideshow.
Well, then I thank her for Allison because Allison might not have seen that.
Yeah.
So this is the turtle blanket, and it will be done when it gets done. It should be done soon. It should have been done months ago, but it's not. So.
Okay, so before I start my next needle, I can't show this, but I can talk about this. This is in... I moved my dishcloth out of the Rebel Scum bag because Davina's Oopsies Bunny bag, the Silver Shred USA bag, wasn't getting enough use.
Yes, okay.
And besides, this is a bunny dishcloth, and that's probably what's going to live in here most of the time. So, my in-testing bunny butt dishcloth is in here.
Very cute.
So,
now my last one here is my turtle shell dishcloth. And I stopped working on it because I made a mistake on it. And I think this one's going to be mine because I don't feel like pulling it out. Mm-hmm. I did think back because the way I had done it, when you do the mosaic, you have 2 rows for each, stitch, for lack of a better term. You have to end up on the other side to change the colors. Mm-hmm. And when I looked at the thing, I was not on the right side when I had to change the colors. So I realized that after I had done the knitting and I tinked it back and I started where I thought it would be started, but I think I made a mistake. So
maybe
anyway,
we can look at it together.
See, you can see this little dotted lines at the bottom here. Mm-hmm. And I talked to Patty about it. That's one bad I'm doing. I talked to her on the phone yesterday, and she was like, "Well, just call it a design element." Mm-hmm. And I probably will because I really like the pattern. I don't know what I did here because I didn't do it on the other one. See, it's not the same down here.
No, it's not.
It'll just be a design element, but because I'm back on track.
I wonder... Oh, no. I was going to say, I wonder if you accidentally did a stockinette.
I might have.
Right.
In any event, I'm at the place where I'm supposed to be now. So it's going to have that odd little line. I don't think I'll have any more of those unless I make a similar mistake. And that's okay. I'll just keep this one. Because I don't feel like taking it out.
Honestly, I don't think anyone's going to care even if you give it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It could go. We'll see. I don't think anybody will really notice. So.
No, I don't think so.
And I'm using, I love this cotton in these 2 greens. Forest and pistache. And the
Not
bag,
pistachio, just pistache?
Pistache. Huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought so too, but when Davina read it to me, she said pistache, and when I looked at it later, it was pistache. So this is in my Kiki Boo bags, little teacups bag, tea time, whatever we called it. It was a kit, a little set. I had tea and this bag, and it wasn't yarn. It had something else, a little something else. Dish marker, maybe?
I don't remember. It's too long ago.
Yeah, it was too long ago. It was ages ago when she was still podcasting regularly and stuff.
You got the prettier of the 2 bags.
I did.
We both wanted a dark brown, but I think...
I forget how we did it. We rock, paper, scissors, picked a number. I forget how we did it.
we did it fairly.
Yeah, we just, it was like, okay, just choose. I honestly didn't know which one I wanted. Because I knew if I chose one, later on down the line, I'd probably want the other one. So it didn't really, I was like, okay, let's just, because I'm perverse that way. All right, your turn.
So I don't have any more projects.
Okay, how many finished objects do you have?
I have 1.
Okay, I have 4, but they're all the same. And yours is kind of, yeah. I hate that because all your stuff is that kind of stuff, and I always have to go first. You know what? I have a lot. You go first time. They've already seen.
Hold on, let me just finish this stitch so I don't lose my stitch marker.
Okay.
There we go.
I just figure you've got a very pretty thing. Sheer numbers this time because I know they've seen it, but that's fine. They've seen both of them. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes, I have finished this. This is going to the recipient, that I'm making it for.
I was wondering if you had already sent that one off.
No, I hadn't finished hers yet. It just took me a while. And I told her daughter it would take me a while, but I was making it for her.
Right.
It's just that about the time a little after I started this, I then got the because I was about here, I think, when I got the commission.
Right.
So I've only been able to work on this on Sundays.
Right.
And I think I also might have had a stretch where I couldn't focus.
And you have a lot of those that people want, so.
Well, no one else has actually expressed. But I have a list.
Yeah, you have a list. So okay, now this is very simple stuff, and I probably should let Talia go first, but she's been going first because she has color work projects that are absolutely amazing. So I'm going to show these. I finished. Let's see here. Okay. I finished 4 of these dishcloths.
Although you finished a lot more things than I do, like on a regular basis because of the dishcloths.
Okay, I'm just gonna show you.
I think every week you finished at least one.
I'm just gonna show you all of these because I don't remember. I know that I did
you don't remember which
colors.
ones you worked on.
I don't remember. So I've got 2 of these blue ones. These are all going to Brittany. These are all the ends are woven in. I sat down. I talked to Patty for like 2 hours. And I wove in all the ends and finished one. So she was funny because I said, oh, I finished one. I got another one on the hooks. And she said, I put my knitting down. I said, oops. So here's 2 of the blue. And this is not the same. This is not the same blue as the one I'm working on. This is, I love this cotton. So these are done. I have 2 of the aubergine, which is that purple. Okay. This is Dishy. These 2 are brand new. This is the one I finished one of them during, I think it was our tea time, and I started the other one and finished it while I was talking to Patty, and then I was weaving in ends. So that's that. That's 6. And then these are the red. All except for that light green, that mint, are I love this cotton. So here's the red. There's 2 of these. And then this is green cotton. So I'm working my 11th one right now. These are all for Brittany. So have a nice little stack of dishcloths for her. Working on 11, and I'll try to get 11 and 12 out of that. You actually get a good amount. I did 2. This is the Dishy that I used the 2. And I still have this much. I'm not sure. I might be able to get another 2 out of this, maybe.
You get quite a bit out of Dishy. Yeah. Now, I can't guarantee how much you'll get out for crochet because I've never crocheted with Dishy.
Well, this is 2.
And also, I've only used Dishy in mosaic.
This is 2, and this is only partial 1, so I've got most of the yarn in here. So I might be able to get 1, possibly 2 out of here. So maybe I'll have to do 2 and add another color, which I haven't done yet. So that's that. And if I don't want to do that, maybe I'll give you the extra yarn and you can play around with it for color work. So, yeah, Brittany, these are going to you eventually. Okay.
I did forget to show because this is something that is the what do we call them when it's not rough draft, it's
edits.
I'm still weaving in ends for this ginormous mitered square. I did that on Sunday. I'll have to answer her later.
Who is it?
So, yes, this is getting it's slowly but surely getting the ends woven in. It's still being slept with every night.
Mm-hmm.
So then that leads us on to, now I can't look at my show notes because my phone's going off.
Okay. Let's move on here. Let's see.
I guess maybe my beads, rope and beads, or whatever I call it, string and beads.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
And then we can go into shop news because string beads is shop related.
And stash enhancements.
I don't have
I do.
anything that's not related to, because I showed the tea and everything.
I guess mine is related to the shop, both of them.
So, last week I had been waiting for something in order to be able to trim off the ends. So I was able to finally trim off the ends for, I think, was this one that I had finished. So this is one Saint Therese chaplain. I talked about that last time, what that is. Mm. So I'm waiting for my, what are the name of the bags?
Oh, organza bags.
I'm waiting for my organza bags to come in because I want to be able to ship these nicely.
So
before I put them up in the shop.
In an effort to keep it more in a knitting area, if you want to know what these are, you can contact us.
Yes. Mostly why I'm showing them is because it's kind of
doing.
It's crafty and it's what I've been doing. And it's gonna be in my shop. This one has a clasp, which is
lobster clasp.
Lobster clasp which is a new thing for me. And this one also has a lobster clasp. Davina says she likes the ones better that don't now.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
I like the ones that do because if I want to wear it around my belt loop, I can.
Mm-hmm. And then I finished. I take the one off my pocket too.
That one's pretty.
A light blue one.
That almost looks like a green.
It's a
teal.
I guess it might be a teal.
It's kind of a blue green, but more green.
For this, because the strings are different colors, and here's one with
purple,
a lavender.
Yeah, lavender. That's pretty.
So there's those two, and then when I made this one, I decided I had to keep it for me to, of course, make sure these things will hold up to wear and tear. They do. Mm-hmm. So this one's mine.
And she sold the other one.
Yeah, the other one is heading out today.
So they can see the crucifix.
Yeah.
There. There you go.
It's heading out in today's mail. The crucifix tends to turn on its own.
Yeah.
But
you have to lower it a little. There you go.
There we go. So that one's all finished. I'm going to stick it back in my pocket. That's been a lot of fun. I usually what I do is reward in between rows of the blanket that I know I need to finish. I'll be like, okay, I finished a row because it's 40 inches across. So after I finish a row, I can do one decade, which is 10 beads, and then a knot, and then another bead, and then a knot. I can do that, and then I have to go back to knitting on blanket. So it kind of wakes me up a little bit, so I want to continue instead of constantly doing the same thing.
That's kind of a strange box to put rosaries in.
It is. This is for my ones, so I have several different boxes.
Yeah, I know.
I have one for my materials. I have one for the ones that will be actually in the shop. These are for the ones that are not in the shop yet.
Right.
So, and I didn't have another box.
She has it in a Batman box.
Yeah, I do. But that's what I have available. And I wasn't going to pick up new materials.
No.
Not when I'm having to spend money on beads and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I have whips for this. Those were FOs. I have whips for it too. This one, so this one is a special order, actually from one of y'all. Yeah. I'm still waiting for the wood.
Who will remain nameless at this point.
I'm still waiting for the wooden crucifix to come in. But this worked up really quickly. I started it this morning.
This is that really pretty olive wood. It's very lightweight.
Yeah, it is. And it's got a lavender cord. So there we go. This is a special order that when it's done, I'll be able to put that in the shop for her. Like I said, it works up very quickly. And then this one is just going to go with the other ones when I'm done, because it's not a special order. It's just one that will go in the shop.
That's pretty.
And this one has roses for the beads, for the big beads, and then for the little ones as well, and then roses around
the centerpiece.
So just enjoying a slightly different craft. It's just a lot of fun.
Yep, sounds like. Okay, what are we doing now?
Now we go into shop news. For me, I mean, I basically went through it. You're going to see rosaries and chaplets going up as well as designs. Last week I had released 3 designs, so we're going to see a little lull because I can't design a whole lot right now with trying to finish this blanket. And although I do have something in testing, but other than that, until I get the grams of bags, there's not going to be a whole lot coming up into the shop. Once those come in, you'll start seeing the rosaries and chaplets.
Okay, now this is kind of both shop news and stash enhancements. For those of you who have purchased my yarn in the past, you know I wrap them up in that tissue paper, and I usually put some kind of a sticker on it. And I was running out of my stickers. I really don't have any owl stickers at the moment.
Well, now you do.
Now I do. Okay, so I bought...
Oh, that was really cute.
Yeah, I couldn't find one of the ones that I wanted that I used for my cards, but these are what I use for the... I got 4 of each. It's really funny. I went to Amazon and they wanted like double for these kind of stickers.
Yeah, I've had to go find other suppliers for beads.
Yeah,
too,
and I went to Hobby
prices.
Lobby. I went to Michael's first. Michael's didn't have as much of what I wanted, so I went to Hobby Lobby, and not only was it about half price to begin with, it was like 50 or 60% off. Mm-hmm. So I got a really good price.
And
on
Amazon
these.
won't give you coupons, whereas some of the other places you can get coupons.
So I got 4 of these, of each design. So this is one of them. The owls. Okay, and I have 4 of those sheets. I have 4 of these sheets. I thought I got 4 different kinds, sir. Did I just get 3 different kinds? I
have no idea.
1, 2. I guess I just got 3 kinds. I thought I got 4 kinds. Well, okay. I'm sorry about the crinkling. Yeah, I guess I just got 3 different kinds. I thought I got 4 kinds.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. So this is the other one. I have 4 sheets of that. So yeah, I just...
You might have had a 4th one you liked on Amazon, but decided you didn't want to go
Yeah,
with because
I
it
might
was
have
too
done.
expensive.
So I have like 12 of these. It should last me for a little while. And then I went through my yarn recipes. I'm typing things up slowly but surely, and some of them I've retired because I don't use that method anymore. I didn't use that kind of... I was still using Kool-Aid at that time or whatever, and I have to redo it. So I went through the things that I have, and I put down some things that I'm going to be thinking about dyeing up, different colorways. So I asked on the tea time, and I'm going to ask you guys if there are any preferred weights or bases that you like.
Actually, you asked on Patreon Live.
Patreon Live?
Patreon
okay.
Live.
Okay, yeah, Patreon Live. If you like any specific weights that you like, any colors you might want to see, any bases you might want to see. I have almost everything right now except I don't have the half skeins of DK right now. And I have to keep an eye on my supplier because he's updating me on what he's getting as he gets it. You know, he outsources, I guess. He gets it from wherever. He gets all kinds of stuff. So, but I do have a lot of fingering sock. I do have DK. I have fingering sock sparkle. I have some 50-gram skeins of fingering sock. I have a little bit of worsted. I have just about everything. So if you that's not like, I don't have any cashmere and stuff like that. I think I have 2 skeins of MCN.
Because that doesn't seem to be something that anyone's terribly interested in.
Well, at this point, I have 2 in the shop that are sitting there. So until somebody says they want it in a certain color, I'm not going to necessarily dye something up in it.
Because it's awfully expensive to have to sit in your shop.
Yeah, it's a base that's a little more on the expensive side, but not overly expensive.
No, just that you would prefer to have known.
Right.
Knowing that someone wants it.
Right. So I have that stuff, and if it's something like the Comet base, my really super sparkle one that has that like thread of stuff in it, I have to know that more than one person wants it, or they want to have at least 4 skeins, because I can only get that in packages of 10. Mm-hmm. So, and if people don't want to buy it, then I know Davina likes it.
Davina loves it.
But, Taya's not buying yarn right now. So,
no, I'm not.
So just let me know what you might like to have color-wise. Any of my colorways that you might want to see come back. Any bases or weights. I did get some. I know people like the DK right now, and DK seems to be popular right now.
Which is cool because
I love DK Sport, and sometimes worsted. I will use a fingering weight if I can use a bigger hook or a bigger needle. Especially with the needles, I prefer to have a bigger needle because with a hook I can get that
grip,
that grip on it. With the needle, it's as small as it is.
Yeah.
So, but let me know, and I will take a look and see what I can do if I have the resources available. I have quite a bit of yarn here right now because I kind of when the pandemic started hitting, I went ahead and bought a fair amount of yarn, bare yarn. So, okay.
Okie dokie then. So we did shop news. I guess that leads on to I think I can access my show notes now. Hang on, my yarn tied itself around my finger. That leads us on to personal stuff. Reading, watching.
Okay.
So honestly, this has been one of those weeks where I haven't been able to focus to read. So I'm gonna let Mom go into all her reading stuff.
All right. Well, I still have the shared story because oddly enough, I haven't been able to focus either. I haven't been able to find time. I really need to find out what the root is of me wanting to sleep so much because I sleep later and I can't get everything done. And the shared story has suffered for that. I have worked a little on it. My reading has also suffered a little bit. I haven't read a whole lot. Been reading Timothy Zahn's book Night, which is the second book in a 3-book series. I'm also not connecting as well to the characters in that book for whatever reason.
Well, sometimes you just don't connect.
Yeah, and he's a fantastic writer. I loved his Quadrille series. I love his Star Wars stuff. I'm having a hard time connecting with the lead character on this.
Well, Quadrille is by far his favorite of mine. My favorite of his non-Star Wars books.
Right. And so I am developing a liking for a couple of the secondary characters, which should help me a little bit.
Well, that's fairly normal for you too.
Yeah. One of them is he doesn't look or anything like Chewie, but is the equivalent of a big, hairy walking carpet. He's not hairy, but he is big. And he's surprising. I like him. But anyway, so they're if I don't connect with a character right away, there's a danger I won't finish the book. Right. So I'm pushing to see if I have any connections that are more than superficial at this point. The lead character is a little too, I don't know. Her background is the streets, and she's got that whole attitude. And while I do like characters like that, there's some of it that I find is a little abrasive maybe or something. And she is mellowing out a little bit too. The people around her are mellowing her out a little bit.
Oh, before I forget, the one that I do like of Timothy Zahn's after Quadrille is Angel Mask, which is the first of his non-Star Wars books I read.
I have to reread that or try to reread it because I couldn't get through it. Or maybe I didn't ever start it.
I don't think you ever started it.
Yeah.
Now the main female character does have more of the street background as well. But the male character has a scholarly background. It's cool. The way they do it is very interesting. And, it has his typical theme.
Right.
Because he does have a tendency towards certain themes.
Yes, he does. And I like the juxtaposition that he does of his characters. You have one that's this and you have one that's totally the opposite almost. It's just, and how
But it doesn't feel forced.
No.
It's not like Eddings, where, as much as I enjoy Eddings, it feels like he has two stock characters, a male and a female, and all of them have the same voice.
Except for the Talon character.
Even Talon. There's been times Talon has said stuff, and I'm not sure, it doesn't sound any different.
The only reason I can give him kind of a semi-pass on that is because Talon is really young and he might be mimicking somebody.
Right, but all of the characters do this through all his books.
Yeah, he has,
he's not very good at characters.
He's probably
not a very good character voice.
He's probably got 2 to 4 stock characters, and I love.
I don't grant him even as many as 4.
I like his characters. I like.
Let's put it this way: I didn't finish Belgariad because I read Elenium and Timuli first, which is the same characters in Elenium and Timuli. I didn't finish the Belgariad because I felt like I was just rereading Elenium and Tamuli that the characters were just called something different.
See, I don't know if I even started Bulgaria yet. I read
Yeah,
I read the 2 series.
I wouldn't recommend.
I read the series, the ones you were talking about, where he makes all the way to the end, where he makes his decision to do what he does. And then I read Althalis, which
Althalis is another one.
Althalis is very, very close to the main character in the other book. And I knew that, but I still liked the story, so I read it.
Everyone has the same voice as the characters from Elenium and Tamuli.
Yes.
Even his one series that is kind of sci-fi. Not series, it's one book. It's kind of sci-fi. Even that one. It's set in modern times.
And you have to,
they have the same voice.
And we say this liking the author for at least one series. Okay, we do like David Eddings,
but he's just not that good at voice.
Yeah, I mean David Eddings, Terry Brooks, they were mainstays for us for a long time. And
Brooks is better at it.
Brooks is better at it,
and also he's done it in such a way that if his characters sound alike,
they're related.
So it makes sense. Whereas there's no reason for any of Eddings' characters to sound alike through all a series. So
yes, that's that. I started the book that Talia was reading called Pray Like Mary and Consider the Lilies. Consider the Lilies is a different book. It's a Bible study.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't read that.
But I really haven't felt like doing much of anything like that. I haven't wanted to dye yarn. It was just, I will be getting back on the yarn dyeing horse really soon here. I just have to find the time. I have to get up and do what I have to do and not vacillate with that.
The weather also has been, I guess there was some really bad weather in other areas, and we're getting the rain. But over here, we're also getting the effects on the barometric pressure, which affects both of us in different ways.
Right.
And honestly, I have been so fatigued. I've napped almost every day, and also just I haven't felt right this week.
Right. Yeah, I had to help her make her breakfast last night.
Yeah, usually I prep it by myself ahead of time.
She just looked horrible, and I could tell from the back. So I'm a mom, so I was like, okay. So she wasn't talking to me when I was talking to her, so I wasn't sure if it was the headphones, which annoys me.
But I don't have anything going in.
No, I know. But that's a pet peeve of mine. So so I said it a little louder, and then I realized that she was having some issues. So
because when you guys see me wearing them, it's actually help protect me from overstimulation, from extraneous noise. It doesn't take it all out. It just dampens things a little bit. I actually don't have anything going in here. It's just the best fit I can get.
Okay, so anything else?
No, I don't really think so.
Okay, we are looking to podcast next Saturday, which is the 15th, I think. 15th of August. Wow. Yeah, Our Lady of the Assumption. Or it's the Annunciation.
Oh, that reminds me.
Oh, yeah.
Big news. So this is, if you are not,
if you're not interested in personal news or of a religious nature, we'll say goodbye to you now. We understand that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll see you back here next week, but this is really big for her. It's very big in our lives.
It's a big personal step.
It's a big personal step. It's really exciting. Some of you already know about it. But if you're not interested in going into that kind of a thing, we understand. If you want to stay and listen because you're interested or you want to support Talia, that's fine too. But it's entirely up to you. We'll see you next week for the Fun in the Woman Cave. We always want to see you back. But we'll say goodbye now. So we'll give you a couple seconds to leave if you want to. Okay? I'm watching the clock up there. Okay, I think they're gone.
Okay. So, I think we've mentioned this before, that I have been for about, I guess it's 3 years now.
Yeah.
Because it was the same week I started getting sick, and that's about 3 years. So, I've been a member of a secular religious institute, which basically is a fancy way of saying I live in the world, I'm connected to a religious order, and I take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience according to my state in life. But I had not yet gotten to the point where I could take vows. They have a very long process, so people basically know what they're getting into. So I did the postulant stage, I did the novice stage, and they let me know that they had gotten a special dispensation due to COVID to do my first profession over Zoom. So they surprised me. The priests, who's their superior, surprised me on, I guess it was Thursday.
Yeah, an hour before you.
An hour before. Well, he probably sent it a little earlier than that, but I saw it an hour before.
He's always right on the ball.
Yeah, and said, "Hey, do you want to make it tonight when you're having a meeting with the others via Zoom?" And I was like, "Sure." So I'm now in vows, and over a period, I think it's about 5 years, I'll continue renewing and moving up. The different.
Yeah, you have a first renewal, a second renewal, and then your third renewals for 2 years, and then you make your perpetuals.
Yes.
The reason I know that is because I'm a perpetual in the same family, but for married.
Yeah. And so it's very exciting. I will be getting my wedding band for that because I am, I'm basically, the way I describe it to people who are not Catholic, or even to people who are Catholic who are not familiar with this, is I'm basically like a nun in the world. Not all the same stuff, but
no habit, no.
Yeah, no change in name, but it's just a special vowed state where I cannot marry, and that is a choice, and a part of the vows. So very excited. This has been a step that's been long coming. I was afraid they wouldn't let me because of health issues, but I'm delighted that they have been able to let this go forward, because it's been a huge comfort with all the stuff I've been going through. To have that extra religious fan support network.
Yep. And they're awesome people.
It's choking on my water. Do not recommend breathing in your water.
That is your public service announcement for today.
Yes.
Okay, so that is exciting.
So yeah, I just feel like, you guys we share everything that's super important, and I shared with you the period of time when I was engaged. Why would I not share with you when I take another important life step? So, and that was, for those of you who are new to the podcast, that was like many minutes ago.
About 3 years ago.
No, longer than 3 years.
4 years ago?
Longer than that.
All right, well, it doesn't matter.
More like 5 or 6 years ago, because I went like 2 years before I even considered something seriously else.
Okay, well, I think we should get started because Daddy is in the kitchen and we need to get going. All right, so we want to...
And I'm getting tired.
We want to thank everybody who commented on the podcast. We want to... Why isn't Brittany... I thought Brittany commented.
She did.
Okay, so we want
to...
We want to thank all our commenters, both on YouTube and on PHN. If I don't mention you, it's because I didn't see you, okay? Brittany, Rena, Steph, Sickwa75, Wendy McJanet, Chronically Crocheting, Andy, Wombat of Doom 53, and LNS Crafts, and anyone else who might have...
I know someone commented on PHN, but I can't remember who did.
I think it was Steph.
Was it Steph? Okay.
Or maybe it was Jodadiah? No, I would have put Jodadiah down.
I know Steph.
So we want to thank you all who commented. We're glad that you gave us some feedback and stuff like that. And we will hope to see you back here next week. We wish you a very blessed week, safe week, full of knitting, crocheting, crafting, whatever it is that makes you very happy. And we hope to see you next week for the Fluent in the Woman Cave. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 414, and that's a wrap.
Bye.